The market is heating up. We're over 70K, and gaming specifically is heating up even faster as we've seen recent successes, not only with gaming, with off the grid, but recent TGEs that are going with a very different strategy. And I have the honor to speak with the CEO of Lizard Labs today, as we're going to go over top to bottom what is Lizard Labs, as well as their launch strategy, which gaming launches have been flourishing recently. And I think that the Liz token is going to be the next in line as a success. So we're going to learn top to bottom about the Lizard Labs ecosystem, the airdrop opportunity, the Liz Lounge, and more. So let's go ahead and jump into it, guys. Like the video, subscribe down below for more every single day and every week here on In the Game as well. Shout out to our sponsors here quickly on In the Game. We have Ledger, FOMO, Moon Tropica, Epic War, and all of our exchange partners down below. If you need a place to trade, you can check out Bybit, Blowfin, etc. All in the links in the description down below. We're going to waste no time. We're going to go ahead and bring on Annie, the CEO of Lizard Labs. How are you today, my friend?
Hustle, it is a pleasure to be with you. I think it probably was 2.5 years ago that we had our first interview together. This is back when I was doing content more so than business works with Lizard Labs. So everything comes full circle. We are about, at the time of recording, about 1 week away from our token launch, and I could not be feeling better right now. So good to be on with you.
Although you said you might never launch a token again after this one.
I did. As we were talking before the space, I'm like, this has added a lot of gray hairs. I had no gray hairs when I started as the CEO of Lizard Labs, and it's only been a couple years. But in all seriousness, it has been a journey, but certainly a learning one. We're really glad to be at this doorstep before the token launches. Having put in a lot of the work, having an amazing community behind us really gives me a lot of confidence as we go into the launch.
Yeah, the Lizards are an OG and also just a very outgoing, loyal community. And that's what it all starts with at the end of the day, that foundation. And obviously the foundation as well of what is Lizard Labs. And, I've talked about the airdrop. I've talked about the project a lot. And I feel like a lot of the times people still just like, well, what exactly do they do at Lizard Labs? So if you want to go ahead and in your own words, intro yourself. And then on top of that, what is Lizard Labs in your own words?
Yeah, so Lizard Labs is the central community for investors, builders, and gamers in Web3, very simply put. So if you're in one of those categories, Lizard Labs is a home for you. And the way that we approach this is we have 3 different lines of business that the organization is building out. And so many of your community, I know, probably started as investors or traders. Maybe a few of them were degens like myself, that really have been here from the early days. We started as one of these OG NFT projects that was focused on investing in early stage startups in Web3 gaming, right? And so for the last almost 3.5 years now, we've been putting funds into studios that we believe are building meaningful products, pushing the sector forward. And so the first arm of our organization that started was the ETH Lizards, the NFT collection. And so that part of our business line has continued through today. We have our own launch pad that we run deal flow through. We have our own treasury that we're deploying capital. But that is the core kind of roots that we came from. The second line of business that we run is B2B activities. So if you are a builder in the space, you probably should be a part of Lizard Labs. And I will say we've done over the years a couple of evaluations to try and identify like who is in our community. We have a higher percentage of builders, meaning founders, executives, devs, creatives, mods, and community managers in our community than any other that I'm aware of, because they recognize that Lizard Labs is adding value to all the projects that we're working with, and they want to understand what it is that we're seeing in the sector as far as trends. There's a lot of really good support that we offer within the community. And then we have an entire arm of our organization called the Green Room that is an accelerator. And so through that, we offer services for content. So we have our own KOL agency of about 200 KOLs. We've got marketing and media services. We have consulting support. Everything from tokenomics to community building to legal framework setup to business strategy, with really high-powered group of executive leaders that have experience in Web 2 and know Web 3. The big difference for us is many of the agencies, and Hustle, you know this, you work with a lot of the groups, I know you do consulting and support with some of them. most of the agencies in Web3 today don't know what they're doing, and they charge really expensive prices, and they have a very basic framework that they operate from, and they give you a one-size-fits-all solution as a game studio, and it doesn't work. This doesn't move the needle. Projects spend tens of thousands of dollars, and then they end up really regretting what they've done. And so for us, the green room is a chance for us to really build in these projects with a team that is going to take the time to learn them and provide services that are meaningful. So in the B2B space, our objective is to be that partner of choice with builders and with gaming studios in the sector. And that's really resonated with us over the past couple of years. The third arm that I saved that I think is going to really appeal to a lot of your gamers is our product line. And as we evaluated in early 2022 and 23, where is the sector moving towards? You're going to recognize this too. The pitches that we were seeing every day were, we're building a metaverse and we're building interoperable assets that everyone in the sector is going to use. And both of those narratives were complete garbage. They were lies. They aren't technically feasible. The incentives don't align with projects. And what we identified very quickly was that idea of a metaverse and the Ready Player One concept, it only resonates if the core games that you would be playing are the ones that you can participate in here. If you can build a metaverse that connects Fortnite and League of Legends and Counter-Strike and take your pick, now you've got something that's meaningful. Connecting 50 games that are all objectively terrible games in their own doesn't give you a competitive advantage. And so what we're building through Lizard Labs and our gaming sub-DAO is a series of experiences where we connect you to the games that you want to play in Web3, right? Top studio partners like Parallel and Wildcard and Illuvium and Wilder World and so on. These top tier games where we add value on top of them. So we give you additional gamified experiences. We're not just paying you to go play these games, but we're objectively giving you better ways to interact, more community engagement, the ability to wager with your friends on the outcome of matches, high quality tournaments with great creators and casting content, all of that in a very immersive experience. So our core product for this is the Lizard Lounge app. And if you want to pull that up, the Lizard Lounge is for us the hub of Web3 gaming that we're building out. And through here, we have everything from questing integration with Guild XYZ. Our Lizard League is going to be housed here, where we have tournaments, wagering, esports. The Olympics of Web3 gaming is how we're building this out. We have integration with community. We've got full staking, token integration, so you can stake Lizcoin, which we're going to talk about in a bit. You can get not just Lizcoin from that staking, you can get partner tokens as well, partner NFTs, as you participate in exclusive and open tournaments with them through the Lounge app. And so building this out as this infra layer where we have a massive community that we're bringing to the game studios. You as a player can identify and find games that you would like to participate in and do so through this hub of Lizard Labs that we've built out in the Lounge. So those are the three core arms of the organization that we've been building out over the past 3 years. And now we're at the doorstep of being able to launch the Lizcoin token, which is the ownership across the ecosystem, right? So these lines of business that we're building with the Green Room and the Lounge app and so on, this is the central governance token. We have revenue distribution that's shared for people that are staking and participating in our ecosystem. We have other tokens that you're going to get access to from these curated top tier partners that want to work with a community like ours that adds value. And so that framework is what we're now bringing to market. So that's the overview for those that probably know the vibes, they know the community, they know the memeability of the lizards in the ecosystem, but they don't really know, like, what have we been doing over the past few years in the sector.
Yeah, absolutely. Y'all have been crushing it across all facets when it comes to community, when it comes to access, when it comes to builders and the agency side. Everything as far as like a business model just comes together. And I'm curious for the ones out there, obviously the Liz token has been a long time coming, and just like an OG community like the lizards. I mean, from ETH lizards to all the product suite that's been built out. What is the core utilities of the Liz coin? So for the Liz token, and I feel like for a lot of projects that come to market, they're launching the token, but they're like, oh, well, what does the token do in the ecosystem? So what is the Liz coin going to be used across the ecosystem and different facets?
Yeah, so the 𝗧𝗀𝗀 really, it really is the ownership structure behind everything that we're building here. And I know a lot of projects talk about ownership in Web3. They don't really mean it, because usually there's an equity part of the organization that exists where the true value is going to the equity in the business, and then you've got the token that is this kind of nebulous value accruer that no one's really sure about. Now, that helps with price appreciation going like wild. So nobody's really sure what this thing is, but it also often crashes back down afterwards pretty quickly. We are a DAO, and we have always been a DAO as an organization. And so all of the value for us accrues to the 𝗧𝗀𝘀 token for this gaming sub DAO. So again, all these lines of business that we talk about, you're literally getting ownership in that, or that part of the organization. And so that's the number one point is, if you believe in what we're building and the way that we're building it too, we talk about execution at a high level, then 𝗧𝗀𝘀 gives you access to that. In addition, it's an unlock with other top tier partners. So we talk about like ETFs now. This has been one of the hot narratives of 2024 in crypto, is finally got Bitcoin and ETH ETFs. Wouldn't it be nice if you had the ability to access other tokens of top tier gaming studios in a very bundled way? 𝗧𝗀𝘀 has the ability to do that. And so by again having 𝗧𝗀𝘀 and staking it, you're getting access to other partner tokens as well. And so it's very much a, let's call it a bet on the sector working. If you try and choose an individual project, we all know that 95% of these studios are going to go out of business, especially the gaming studios. It's such a hard sector to nail that you take a lot more risk. And so obviously people like to diversify, they work with a number of projects, but to be very deeply ingrained in what's going on, I mean, they can follow guys like you that really spend the time, put in the effort to understand and share information. But you're not going to be able to get deep with 20 or 30 projects as an individual investor, or trader or builder. Come join a project like ours where we have literally dozens of people in the community, our team members, and all of our connections, where we're building in with many of these studios ourselves. And so we understand where are the projects that are doing well and who's not, and we can get you access to those that actually are doing the right thing and they have long-term value that they're building as well. So those are the two main points that I would highlight. The second one with partner tokens is through our patented Play for Airdrop campaign. So if you want to play games, if you think you're a good gamer and you're going to be successful in tournaments or leaderboards, if you want to engage in social questing and supporting many of these top studios, you're going to be eligible to get airdrops from these other partners along the way. And we're not just like throwing tokens at you. We're going to give you the information to make you aware of what are the studios building. So through our Lizard Lookout report, through our Lookout space, we have deep dive analyses that we're going to be providing for these partners through that campaign. You're going to get access to a much broader cross section of the sector than you would have otherwise.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I'm a big proponent, the audience here can attest. Like I always talk about, bet on ecosystems that bring games together or that have different functionality or ties to multiple ecosystems. Because when you're betting on just a single gaming product to be this breakthrough app, that's hard. And there's so many games. That's like a VC going in saying they wanted to pick the next Fortnite. There was never a next Fortnite. And especially one that didn't come from a big conglomerate. Everything came after it. Valorant from Riot. You had Warzone from Activision. It wasn't like this indie opportunity that came up and shocked the market. So the gaming space is harder than anything else. And from what we've seen in gaming, that is just hard to nail. So I love that this ecosystem does bring all of those components together and also has like a real world business aspect to it. It brings in revenue. It's a functioning business. I think what also people lack to understand is, they always talk about the game. Oh, it's fun. It does this. But on the back end numbers, that has to make ends meet also for the project to continue long term. So it's all about, at the end of the day, is it a core functioning business that brings in revenue? And I know with the green room and the different functionalities that's really a core contributor to that for you guys at Lizard Lab. So that's very bullish for me, in my opinion. And it's just something I really harp on that I think more people should put focus on.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I get this actually a lot when I talk to prospective investors and partners, and I share with them the green room and not just it's not a concept, right? That you've seen us in action in the green room. The green room is real. We have real partners. And the fact that we've brought in over $500,000 in revenue this year from the green room alone in the first year as a startup for that particular product, puts us in like the 99th percentile of all Web3 gaming projects. And we haven't built a game, but we built an ecosystem that is adding value. And on top of that, it's not extractive value. Like we are so focused on not being a value extractor only. We're putting in more value than we're taking out with all of our partners. I'll give you a stat that's really interesting that's resonated with everyone I've shared it. 100% of the partners that we have signed to the green room through our consulting, through our media, our marketing services, 100% of them after the first month have signed up for more business with us than they started with. Okay. Find me another studio in Web3 that's true of, and I will wait, because I know lots of organizations that people are trying to figure out, how can we get out of this contract? We're not getting value. Like, can we cut down the terms that we signed up for? Very few are going the other way around. And so if you're constantly adding value, that value then returns to you more than you put in. And so that's always been our mantra: build it first and then tell people about it, rather than the other way around.
Yeah, I love that. And then I know for the community's perspective, I've been talking about the Liz Lounge. I've been talking about the campaigns going on. And when you take a look at the tokenomics of the coin, obviously you see 43% of the tokenomics are going to the community. So can you talk a little bit about how people can get involved between the Liz Lounge, the programmatic airdrop? There's a lot of stuff going on here. And that's another thing I get questions on. But 43% of the supply is going to the community and 10% is immediately claimable. So can you go over how some people in the community or viewers here can even get involved?
Yeah, absolutely. So look, if you're here listening to this interview early, prior to November 6th, we're going to have a snapshot over the next week, and everyone that holds an ETH lizard during that time window is going to be eligible for, in total, 4% of the supply at launch, right? So we have a holder airdrop to the ETH lizard holders. They are the OG community that's helped build us. They've been the most supportive organization. I suspect 90% of your audience has seen one of the ETH lizards, like this guy behind me on the wall,
Oh,
in Twitter
absolutely.
Spaces and so on. So like that collection, we're always ensuring that we accrue value to them. So there's an initial airdrop to them. There will also be 2 more airdrops of Lizcoin over the course of the next year as well. So that's one way. If you want to come pick up an ETH lizard, you're going to be entitled to part of the Lizcoin, which is this backbone behind the gaming and B2B side of our ecosystem. Additionally, we have a public airdrop that we have been steering people to through the Liz Lounge app. So everyone that saw the lounge, and I'm sure we'll have the link in the description below, you can come in there, sign up, become a guardian of gaming with us. And we are identifying the folks that have been supporting Web3 gaming from the earliest days. So if you have NFTs, if you're in Discord servers, if you're supporting projects on social media, you're going to be eligible likely for one of these airdrops of Lizcoin. We want to onboard you, if you're a Web3 gaming believer, into our ecosystem, whether you're a builder, you're a gamer, you're an investor. And so that's a big part of the airdrop, is this public airdrop as well that we have going on. And then after the fact, I mentioned staking Lizcoin and the value that's going to bring back to people through additional token airdrops. That's all structured in the Lounge app. You can go see that all today. That same framework is going to apply as we move forward with revenue distribution. So frankly speaking, we've seen a lot of projects that have tried some pretty innovative things with RevDis. Some that have tried 100%, some that have tried like smaller percentages. What we believe is the community should be incentivized to support the projects, and vice versa. And so revenue distribution for us is a critical factor that, as long as you're participating in the ecosystem, this is from a security standpoint, this is really important, you're then eligible for a share of the revenue that we're bringing in through all of these lines of business. And so picking up Lizcoin allows you access to that. We'll talk a little bit about the launch strategy here in a second, I think, Johnny. But with Uniswap, we're going to have Lizcoin available on November 6th. So that's obviously the easiest way for most of your community that's going to be interested. Come find us there, and maybe this is a good segue to talk about launch pads, exchanges, and kind of how we're approaching getting the token in the hands of the community.
Yeah, definitely. That's the next step. Obviously, I'm hoping that the community here, even before this, has gotten involved. We've dropped the link in the description many times when we talk about good gaming airdrop opportunities. But leading into launch, and recently we've seen some of these strategies coming on, and they're actually been successful. stuff like Xborg and S World as listed in this tweet as well. But I'm curious, why are you guys choosing, and what are you seeing the advantages of? I think some people don't understand. So like the centralized exchange sell it's accessible to more maybe retail investors, but up front, most of the time you're selling a lot of your supply in a way to these exchanges in exchange to get that listing. And sometimes the exchange doesn't give as much value as you might actually think on the front end. So, and it really just depends on the exchange, of course. So why are you guys opting to go with the no centralized exchange, full decentralized exchange strategy over maybe I'm going to call it the 2024 token launch playbook? Bybit, Mexi, KuCoin. There you go. Like that's what your first bundle of exchanges typically is. Why are y'all bypassing that strategy and just keeping it as, on-chain DEX trading?
Yeah, it's very simple. Two reasons. The first one is it doesn't fit our ethos. We are a community first project, and so we started off planning to go that route. Okay, to be very frank, but the more that we dug into the data of what was actually happening with these exchanges over the course of this year, it is a very anti-community approach. So as you shared, you're going to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions, maybe, depending on the exchanges, to give them your token so that they can gradually dump it on your community as people are trying to buy in. Okay. This is not a community-centric approach, which for us is a problem. Again, we started as a DAO. For those that don't know my story, I didn't start the project. I came in as a community member in 𝗓𝗏𝗡𝗧. And so I've moved into this role over the past few years, but I very much have at the forefront of my mind every day, what are we doing to add value to our community members? And we think that involves being a sustainable studio, but it also involves not having them get dumped on by other folks that you bring in. Our capital raise, they were 70% of our community members by dollar. And so we don't have a bunch of VCs that are here looking to exit like many studios did. And so the combination of that, seeing that a lot of exchanges, they're going to take a lot of your tokens and just dump them on your community. They're also not really adding people that stay in your ecosystem. 90% of the people that buy on those exchanges that you mentioned, they immediately sell within the first month and a half, and then they leave and they never come back. And so yes, you're getting retail and you're getting some amount of new users, but generally speaking, it's not value added, especially not for the amount of tokens that you're going to be giving to them. And so with that, we said, look, guys, like we have an incredible community that has been with us from day one. The community knows what we've been building. They've been supportive all the way through. We gave them the choice and said, you give us the feedback. What makes sense to you? Here's what we're seeing. We laid out all the facts. This is how much it would cost us to list on exchanges. Here's what we could do with launch pads. And this is what we see in the data happens when you go that route. Yes, we'll have centralized exchanges that we would be listed on. And so there's some additional liquidity that comes there. Is that really better for the project, or should we lean on the fact that we have visibility across the sector? We've got a lot of builders, we've got a lot of investors, community members that have been supportive all the way through. We have dozens, literally we had 70 different studios through our 𝗏𝗏𝗡 campaign, where we did the public airdrop to bring people from those organizations on through the Guardians of Gaming component in our lounge app that are now part of our community. And so in total, we've got just about 12,000 people across all lines of our organization, many of whom are like very focused on the Lizcoin token launch. And the question is it better for us to go with our community that we have now and continue with the marketing activities, all of the partners and products that we're building, or try and inject some outside liquidity, knowing that most of it's not going to stay? And so with that as the backdrop, it became a pretty easy approach. We had 75% of our community voted for one of the options to go this basically, no exchange, no launchpad route, launch on a DEX. And we believe that we have the right value proposition that's already been built out. And frankly, we have, I think, a very reasonable valuation, right? Your community knows the valuation you get on a project is equally as important as the quality of the project itself. And so for us, it's not about making a bunch of money. We're not selling tokens in the public launch. This is about putting the token out there. The community and the market will decide what it's valued at. And that if again, it's valued at the right place, people are going to want to come into the project and be a part of what we're continuing to build.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Lizard Labs everything about it from top to bottom, from the sub DAO to the community to the investment arm to the agency. This is a business model that can last throughout the time. Like it's also not a business model that fizzles out because of the sustainable aspects of the business. Whereas a lot of these different coins and projects are bull market based. Like in the bull, they're going to really thrive, but you have to have those pillars of your business that maintain through any given market condition. And I truly do think that Lizard Labs has those. Where would you recommend if someone's brand new to the ecosystem? Where do they hop in to get involved? I know you guys have a great community over in Discord. I know there's the Liz Lounge. Obviously, I will leave a link in the description here down below if you haven't gotten involved yet. But where should people jump in to get involved with the Lizard Labs?
Yeah, 100%. The lounge is your gateway, and it's not just your gateway for Lizard Labs; it's your gateway for Web3 gaming. Right? We love bringing people into the ecosystem that are like, you know what? I believe in the concept of Web3 gaming. I don't have nearly as much time to do all the research that I want. Can you be a community that is here to help me become more familiar with projects that I might want to get involved in, whether as a gamer or, or as an investor or as, a partner? Maybe I want to, engage in social media. Like, we're going to help introduce you to those folks that are really moving the needle forward in the sector. So come through the Lounge app. Again, do so quickly if you can. And we'd like to have everyone from your listening audience join us through the Guardian of Gaming campaign. You'll be eligible for the airdrop if you do that. Even if not, though, the platform is the central hub that we've been building for years now. Very immersive experience. I don't think I even mentioned it today. Wildly bullish. This is powered by AI. So we have AI agents. These lizards are not just amazing looking and highly animated. They're also freaking hilarious. And so the memes and the vibe is going to be impeccable as we get this thing fully up and running. And you can talk with these lizards who are going to talk you through Web3 gaming, right? So come through the lounge. You're going to get directed to jump into Discord as well along the way there. So come vibe with the community. We'll be happy to answer questions for you. Again, it's very much a memey, irreverent, fun group. I always talk about this being the Web3 gaming mullets. I know you've heard this from me before, Johnny, that we've got very serious building going on in the front, and I hope that's been obvious through the interview today. But we've also got in the back a party going on in the underground lounge, and so that's where the mullet comes in. We're doing serious things, but we don't take ourselves too seriously.
Yeah, the bartender looks like he's got a mullet there, so that completely makes sense. And by the way, guys, they did not coattail that AI agent narrative. I know those meme coins right now are hot, but these AI agents have been functioning for the lounge has been up for what, a month and a half, 2 months at this point.
Yeah,
So
I
you
think
guys front ran
2
that
months
narrative.
now. Yes.
Yeah.
And
big front run.
You'll see it too. And I'll give maybe a little bit of alpha here. I can't go too deep, but this will not be the last AI integration that you see. And we're working on some really incredible partnerships that will take this to the next level. So already we think it's a full suite of services that any studio in Web3 gaming is going to want. AI, and then some other components that I can't even mention today. They're that secret. That's what's going to be the accelerant on top of this that just blows the entire project into the stratosphere, because we really believe that gaming in Web3 is the future over the next year. And as these projects we've seen off the grid, I know your community is familiar with that. We see others that are coming to market here shortly that are going to be drawing a lot of attention and interest. And this is the type of place and the type of time that you want to be involved in as the market begins to move.
Absolutely agree. Well, Annie, I appreciate your time. I know you guys are super busy over the next week with the TGE. I'm going to leave the link down below, guys, to the Liz Lounge, and you guys can jump in as soon as possible. Get involved. I promise you it'll be worthwhile. And this community is so much fun. Like, genuinely, they're viral. They're all over the timeline. They speak their minds, and they are definitely loyal to Liz. And that is an amazing thing, because the community is everything at the end of the day. So, Annie, I appreciate your time. And looking forward to the TGE next week, November 6th. Is that right?
That's right. Yep, November 6th. So
November 6th.
We may have the best or the worst choice of launch date. It's the day after the U.S. election. So things are going to be wild, I suspect, either way. But we look forward to it.
That's a volatile day.
Yeah, it very well might be. But again, like we're not here for the first 24 hours after. This is a project that has a decade plus long time horizon. And so yeah, come be part of the future of gaming with us. Johnny, thank you again. You and I go way back. I appreciate the work that you put in over the years. You really care about your community and your listening audience. And we're very happy to have you as part of our green room.
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate you guys. And the green room's amazing. Everything y'all are doing top to bottom, I'm so bullish on. Guys, if you haven't already, jump into the Liz Lounge, link in the description. Also, hit them on Twitter. It's very easy. Literally just Liz Labs IO. Very easy to jump in. Give them a follow. Jump in the community. And November 6th, Liz will be live. Guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Leave your thoughts down below. And we'll see you guys on the next one. As always, play well, my friends, and stay bullish, my friends.